pro wrestling is one of the realest things that exist in this world. Like there's a lot of fake shit out there going on between politics and you know homelessness and
all
wars
types of shit.
and all types of shit. You know what I'm saying? It's nice that I can go back, or anyone can go back and just watch a GCW show, a AEW show, a NXT show, a Raw, a SmackDown, a Sunday Night Heat, a House of Glory show, a Pro Wrestling Evolve, or a Pro Wrestling Eve, like a Shimmer, a Shine, and New Japan. It doesn't matter what it is. You can go to it and be like, I can relate to this. And I can just I can suspend my disbelief for just a moment in time. And
Yeah.
watching this match made me feel that more ways than one.
Welcome to another edition of ETE. I am just one of the hosts, a mere host, named Marcus the Grand Finale. And I'm joined by not one, not two, not three, or it is three. It is three. Oh, three faces of Jamal, the real sharpshooter. How are you doing today?
I'm doing actually quite well, man.
All the energy I just threw out there. I'm doing well, man. I'm I'm going to do my taxes later.
Yes,
Great
yes,
day.
indubitably, yes.
Yes. Wait, in our top 100 matches today, we are going to talk about the Shield versus the Wyatt family. 6-man tag action here at the Elimination Chamber in 2014, just months away from WrestleMania.
Run.
So I thought you were going to do, we're here.
Oh, man.
Jamal, tell us about this match, these teams. How did we get here? What's going on? Where are we in this time period, 2014? What was life like? Where are we at?
Man, all right. So I fondly remember this year, 2014. This was the year that I got out of the Marine Corps. It was my last year in the Marine Corps. Like I was getting out. So I remember getting a chance to like legit get back into watching wrestling. And this was like my reintroduction back into the WWE fold. And I had no idea or no clue who any of these mofos were at all.
Wow.
My buddy Mike was keeping me up to speed. They were like, yeah, you know, this Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, and they got this big dude named Roman Reigns. They're this Shield, and they're doing all this believe this and believe that. Mind you, I was continuously buying the games and not knowing who was in it.
Oh, okay. So you're just like, oh, this is a new dude. This is a new person. This is a new person.
Yeah,
this Roman guy might do something.
I don't know their backstory. I didn't know anything of anything. I knew of CM Punk because, like, you know, Ring of Honor reasons and stuff like that. But, like, you know, all of this stuff that was going on because of my 4 years in the Marine Corps, like, I had no idea who any of these people were. I didn't know. NXT, what is that? What is FCW? Like, you know, what is this? Like, they have developmental? What's going on? Oh, like, you know, this was like my super deep. I was already a wrestling fan, but this was my super deep dive into the person that I watch wrestling like today. This was the precursor to that. And also, you know, when we're speaking of the Wyatt family versus the Shield here, these were two heel factions that was running roughshod all across WWE across the board. And there was a collision that was going to be set, and we didn't know when it was going to happen. It just so happened to be at the Elimination Chamber of this year, February 2nd of this year. I mean, yeah, this year.
Yeah, not simply, I was still deep into it. We were still doing the podcast, and I remember on the podcast around this time, for about close to a year or some change, maybe 6-7 months, who knows. I remember going, I can't wait to see the Wyatt family and Shield collide. That was the main thing. I can't wait to see these two teams wrestle. The military faction versus the cult leader faction. And it just seemed like this was the rivalry of, you know, how people bring up the Freebird and Von Erich. This was going to be my rivalry of the generation of 6-man tags of going like, I can't wait to see these two clash.
And it's interesting too, because like, you know, prior to the match, like they rarely touched, they rarely looked at every time that they were in the backstage, they looked at each other, they're like, yeah, we're the better team. Or like, you know, they'll do like little subtle things in the ring to like make you believe that, okay, we are the dominant faction of WWE and there's nobody else that's gonna do it like we do it. And you know, the vignettes, the promos that Bray Wyatt was cutting was A1 top tier, top promos of life. Like, you know, you boys chose a wonderful, magnificent hill to die on. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
What's that?
Bray Wyatt is killing it on the promos. And the Shield at the time, this is back when they were doing their promos. They would grab a cameraman and they were and you have Ambrose holding the camera and talk about we're about honor and respect and the justice and all that. And this is right, like it was two different, like, oh shit, this is the next generation of WWE that we're looking at here, because the Shield came out. They were basically designed to be CM Punk's like protection as he goes through his lengthy title reign. But they were never associated. But Paul Heyman would always like hint at it or talk to him here and there, give him advice to like, oh yeah, interfere in this match. And then we're slowly evolving to where they were getting more cheers and boos. People watched it, were like, holy shit, this Rollins guy. Well, you know, most people in the internet knew it was Tyler Black or everything. He's flipping all over the place. Roman is an athletic monster of just size, speed, and the crowd was behind him. And Dean Ambrose was, quote unquote, as Michael Cole called, the lunatic fringe, or just the off the wall, next Roddy Piper kind of guy. And always at this point, you didn't know if you could trust him, like in the Shield. If it was anybody to betray the Shield, it would have been Dean Ambrose, because he had a very heel-like persona about him through the entire run. And even when the Shield was kind of like tweening, when they were just doing their own thing and not feuding and helping Punk all around, or what you call them, they were, you know, basically baby faces at this point, just getting cheered by the crowd because these guys are just cool. Like, it's just nothing. You couldn't deny their coolness. It was just like, oh. And then you have Wyatt, who was coming from NXT. I remember first seeing Bray Wyatt and the original Wyatt family. It was him, Rowan, I think Eli Cottonwood, and then they replaced it with Luke Harper, where I was a big fan of Brody Lee already when he was in Ring of Honor. And just going like, oh, that's a good addition. And when they came to the main roster, and it was just like, oh my God, I can't. This is just the best. This is the best. Like, up the jump, Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family were something that I was just like, this is the special group right here. This, like, I like them more than the Shield, to be honest, because Bray Wyatt was just so charismatic with everything he said. It was just
that man has ever said. Rest in peace, his beautiful soul. Like, everything that man said on a microphone was just magic. Every time he touched it. When he was cult leader Bray, like, just you were just captivated by him. So captivated, and like, I remember the first time I ever saw the Fireflies, like people, I was like, is that cell phones or is that real lights, or like what's going on here? Like, no, like, he had people with his silver tongue, and he just had it. Like,
yeah, like from day one, everybody in the palm of his hands, just like, what's he talking about? He's like, you don't understand, man. We're a different breed of people, okay? And you don't know what he's talking about. Abigail came down and told me. And just like, what the fuck is he talking about? But it all makes sense.
But everything made sense, and that's the crazy thing. Like, it's wild to me.
Even the look, like, Eric Rowan wasn't the best wrestler, but the sheet mask look and just his size and the beard hanging out of it was just like, what the fuck is this?
It's funny that it's funny that you say that, because I'm looking at it, and I think Eric Rowan, out of the three, was the only one who pinned Roman clean.
No, I don't know. I don't have that information on me right now. Damn. But I think he's the last person to Rock beat as well, too, which is at WrestleMania 32 when The Rock had the impromptu match against the Wyatts. It's something like that. It's kind of all a blur. I remember flamethrowers and a rock bottom. That's all I remember from that. But we're going to this match, and essentially the Shield are kind of like they're not vibing all the way. They're not kind of vibing all the way. Like they're questioning some of the team's motives and stuff, but they are a unit. They don't they're finally giving Roman the moniker of the leader. Seth has got his name, the architect, and then Ambrose alluded. It seems like this is like the end. We're approaching the end of the Shield as the way the story is going, but we weren't getting to that end without this match. And Jamal, tell us some of your first thoughts of the match and what had you feel when this match was? Oh, we already basically went out of the match, but what are your thoughts of the match, basically?
Well, like let's just speak on entrances right now, right? And mind you, like putting myself back in 2014 Elimination Chamber, I'm watching. This is my like introduction to these guys, like essentially. And I'm in the military at the time, so I hear Sierra Echo, leave it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, oh, what the fuck? Oh, okay, military guy, whatevs. But like, I'm not gonna deny, like, coming through the crowd, like they were edging Christian and stuff like that. Like it just gave me those kind of vibes, and the crowd was hyped, the energy was there. They're all looking like badasses and everything like that, and the entrance was crazy. I was like, oh, okay, all right. These guys look. Mind you, I haven't seen these guys wrestle a day in my life prior to this match. Did not this is my reintroduction back to WWE. Due to military reasons, I was out there hooking and jabbing with the enemy, the real enemy. So. Seeing their entrance was really cool. The crowd was hot. Before the Wyatt family even hit the ring, and then you see Eric Rowan in the mask, you see Harper there, and then Bray comes with the light. We're here.
Yeah, we're here.
And
it's like, dude,
the song was awesome. The ambiance was awesome. The crowd is fucking going crazy for this because he's the slow methodical walk down to the ring, the whole light,
the lantern,
God, the lamp, everything.
It's the song that gets you, like, it's the most perfect entrance song for anybody. Like, going back and seeing this match, and me right now, just a few days ago, watching this match, and when they did the Wyatt family entrance, I was choked up because I was like, this was just special. Like, this was like, I got emotional because you see Harper and Bray right away, and you're like, God damn, like, this sucks. And just that entrance though of like, we're here, and then they blow out the eye, and it's just like, it got emotional, a little emotional. I don't know what it was.
I'm not
gonna hold you. And I got like the goosebumps of like,
goosebumps rewatching this match. Like, I'm just talking in the context of me watching it for the first time as opposed to me watching it now. And, knowing that Brody is not here with us, knowing that Bray's not here with us, and Roman is literally the last guy standing. And, it hits a little different. It hits just a little bit different. Knowing what Seth Rollins and John Moxley eventually become, and Roman he eventually becomes, just knowing what they become later and watching this match is just like, damn, we was really watching the future in real time.
Yeah, and it was, when it comes to the Shield, like, at the time, I remember in 2014 not knowing what I was watching, even though I enjoyed the Shield, I liked them. And I was a huge Tyler Black fan. I didn't know much about Ambrose or Moxley from the Indies or whatnot, and Roman was a complete mystery. It's just more when he saw him, he was just like, oh, okay. And then the more you saw him, and you realize the crowd's behind, the person that got the biggest reaction of the Shield was Roman, actually. And I was like, oh shit, this because he was the big guy to come in and do that fast ass, I'm gonna knock you out offense.
It was the
Huh?
damn blue contacts, bro. Let's stop it. They thought those were his eyes, and I'm like, no.
Hey, Roman had flowing hair, blue eyes, big monster looking dude, and I can see how the crowd got right. And this is like a moment before the Royal Rumble, which happened, like a month prior, where it became the final two was him and like Batista, and the crowd's going nuts for Roman to win. Like it was like you have to win and not Batista at this point because it was just not his time. They were really rooting for the win, and it was just like, oh, okay. And so this match begins, and it's just right off the jump, just fun, just
utter chaos.
Swapping matchups to the staring. Yeah.
Ambrose immediately goes after Bray, like he just hops on him and just attacks him, and then everybody's just like pandemonium in the ring. They start doing planches and stuff right off the gate. I'm like, God damn! Mind you, like going back 2014, fresh. I don't know who these guys are. And this is how the match starts. I'm like, okay, then.
Okay, we're bro.
Okay, then.
My favorite thing is Ambrose's offense because Ambrose's offense didn't make any sense. It was a death press into like he wrestled like it's completely different from the way he wrestles his box. Like it's just out of control. And I remember hating it at the time, going like, this dude really ain't wrestling. But the way his character was, it all made sense, which it shows how important character work goes. And just that little bit of like, this is the way he fights.
He's flailing. He's like, swinging wild like a wild man. And it's like, it's wild, but it's tactical, right? He's not just flailing just to flail. He's hitting his flail shots. He's bringing them down to the ground. He's doing it so that way he takes them off. Never let the enemy know your next move type deal. And like, that's what I got out of that.
Yeah.
And let's talk about Seth Rollins for a second being the ping pong of this match, because that man got launched all over this match. The Wyatt family put a beating on him, bro.
Yeah, for those who don't know, this is the younger, healthier Seth Rollins before his knee injury, where the dude was just springboards, just flipping everywhere, diving everywhere, fast as I don't know what, and then he's taking all this abuse, getting tossed everywhere, and you're just like, man, Seth was a different type of athlete back then.
I don't know. Well, I do know a lot of the people who are going to watch this show. Yeah, man, military gear, that shit is heavy, bro. Like, and he's sitting here jumping on, like, from up to the top rope to the knee. Like, he's moving swiftly in this military gear. And I'm just like, yo, what is going on?
Him in all his pockets.
I wish I could do that with all my gear on. Like, dang. I mean, like, jeez.
Yeah,
and that's
him in all his pockets. That was the main thing I took away from Seth's outfit is all the pockets he has.
Shoot, man.
What's in those pockets?
Yo, those pockets, they save lives, all right? Let's just say that.
I don't think Seth had anything that saved any lives in his pockets. He had pseudo pockets. There was nothing in those pockets.
No tourniquets, no snackage, no dip, no cigarettes, no nothing. Like nothing to save life.
Nope. But moving on, like eventually they brawl on outside. Bray and Dean fights over until they knock each other over the rail. They fight off into the crowd and this crazy brawl, which was pretty funny. It's just like da da da, and they just disappear into the thing. And now it's the end. We never see Dean Ambrose again in that match, and they never explain what happened to him. Dean would like be on Raw later and be like, "Oh, he tied me up or knocked me out or something, and I was trying to come back, but I couldn't." But it was also that hint of that he just give up on his team. At the time, he was the United States champion. Or he may have just lost it. He had it, right? I believe he had it with him.
Yeah, he was the only one with gold at that time.
Yeah. And it seemed like he was going like, you know what? I'm not coming back up for this fight. Rollins gets launched through a table, and it's now Roman versus 3.
He gets smoked because he gets the power bomb. The power bomb by who power bombed him? It was both Harper and Rowan. Just smoked that man. Bam! My God, I know about your back. You can see Shinsuke.
is the beginning of the back. And so they get back into the ring, and it's just Roman, and this is the beginning of make Roman look strong as Roman fights all of them off for the most part. And I remember in 2014, I believe it, they're not gonna really have Roman beat this team by himself, right? As basically being a sole survivor, very Survivor Series
like
type of moment.
It looked like it. He Superman punched all three of these dudes, bro. Bang, 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 back to back to back. And then even like Brody Lee went for the discus clothesline. He went under. He speared Brody Lee. Luke Harper. He speared Harper. Eric Rowan came in. He did the Samoan slappy, and then Bray caught him with this sick Uranagi kind of he did a Blade Runner basically, but it wasn't like Sister Abigail. He just did the Blade Runner and went
it was Uranagi.
And he kicked out. He kicks out of it, and Bray can't believe it. So then Rowan smokes him, which then gives to Harper, and then Harper smokes him, and then they give it to Bray, and then Bray finally delivers the finishing blow. And I knew it was over because of how Bray covered him, right? So Bray covers him, and he's just looking at it. He's looking at the camera. Roman's not moving. I was like, yeah, it's definitely over. So
yeah, and this is one of the rare Shield defeats right here. They never lost. I don't even know. I didn't look it up, but I felt like they were undefeated until this. But I'm sure they weren't. But
were they tag champions before this match, or were they tag champions?
They were tag champions before this match.
So
they would have lost.
Yeah, their first loss.
I think the Usos, to be honest.
No. Well, yes, it was Jey Uso that beat him, right?
Yeah.
But they lost the tag titles to Cody and Goldust. So
you're right.
That's
when they lost the tag titles. You're right. It was the Cody Goldust thing, not the New Day. You're right. Yeah, and then that ending of they lost and they got just like you said, smoked.
I did not expect it to happen that way. I'm glad that the match was the match. I'm glad that all 6 of these guys whooped each other's ass to no end. It's literally one of the greatest 6-man tag matches I've ever witnessed in person, in TV, playing a game. It looked like it felt like I was playing SmackDown on console.
Yeah,
it felt like
it was almost a dream match in modern time, even though it wasn't a dream match. It was in context of these are 2 current wrestlers, and they're not from different promotions or anything, but it felt like a dream match that had happened, or you're watching G.I. Joe's versus Cobra or whatever, and you're just watching it and just going oh shit, this is crazy. And when the Wyatts came out on top, I was like, fuck, that was a statement win. And after the match, it leads to I think the Authority with Kane and the New Age Outlaws and something versus the Shield, and then it leads to Evolution versus the Shield, which eventually leads to the Shield breakup somewhere. These are all months down the line, but this was probably the last proper time we were going to see. This year will be the last within the proper version of the Shield without their injuries or betrayal.
It really sucked for me because this was my introduction to the Shield, right? And then I was just like, oh, these guys are pretty cool. And then Seth hit him in the back with the fucking chair at the end.
It's months later.
After Payback, and it's crazy.
And this was a really good show, like you said, show saving pay-per-view.
This also led to Bray Wyatt's ascension to the big time. So he eventually goes on to face John Cena at that WrestleMania of that year. Of course, haha, LOL, Cena wins,
Cena always wins at 30. But it was one of Wyatt's better matches at 30 with Cena. Bless you.
Thank you.
Which led to that. And most of Wyatt's great matches are in the Wyatt family as a tag or teaming with them, whether it's even in the Rowan Harper era or even the Strowman added era or even the Orton and the feuding with Bryan Danielson. All that's coming up in like the next few weeks pretty much. And it's like this was the peak of this original version of the Wyatt family was beating the Shield, and just a banger of a match that I would recommend to anybody to see of how to tell good stories, the in-ring work, the characters. If you want to look at a match where I believe personally Vince McMahon would look at and was like, this is what wrestling should looks like. These larger than life characters colliding over probably a minuscule difference. Like they just ran into each other. Basically, their feud doing the whole thing.
I wouldn't say Vince McMahon because he hates tag team wrestling, and this was a great tag team match. Teddy Long will be proud. I don't know about Vince McMahon.
I'm just saying the wrestlers, the type of wrestling type. Like he had his size, he had the speed or whatever. They had the character work, the emotion, the stories they were able to tell, and not even the longest match. It was about 20-minute match or so. Not even that long.
30 minutes, 30-minute match.
Yeah. But it didn't even feel like that. Like I watched it, it went by so fast. It was just like, damn, that was
because from start to finish, like it was nonstop action. It was total nonstop action. No pun to TNA, But yeah, everybody got their shit in. Rowan showed why he's Rowan, he's a beast and everything like that. Brody Lee, obviously, Luke Harper, Bray Wyatt, like the magic that Bray Wyatt can produce with anybody in that ring. Ambrose doing the little things that make the lunatic fringe. Roman on his come up. Seth Rollins at the time, showing why Tyler Black was so freaking good. So, just enhances the Seth Rollins character. Like it's night and day what they all look like today. Aside from, even prior to Bray Wyatt's passing, even prior to Brody Lee's passing, Luke Harper's passing, it's literally, if you look at the last time that they both was alive, it's night and day from what they were here to what they are now. And I would even argue, if you were to put this iteration, the shattered Bray Wyatt with the exalted one Brody Lee and the Eric Rowan that was with Bryan Danielson versus Moxley, Roman, the tribal chief Roman, and the whoa Seth Rollins, that would be such an incredible match to even look at today.
Yeah, so, I think that's one of the bigger tragedies of everything that happened with Brody and Wyatt, and that the passing is that the best story that could be told today is the Wyatt family versus the tribal chief bloodline. To be honest, it goes all the way back to Bray, because Bray is also one of Roman's ultimate rivals, the Shield Wyatt family stuff, and then you go into anyone but you, Roman. Anyone but you. And then we live in an era where Roman is this dominant king and he's the champion and everything. And imagine Wyatt would have came back and was like, I have to stop you because anyone but you. This is what happened when I was gone. Did
you see the interview that Karrion Kross had with Chris Van Vliet? And he was like,
no, I read clips. Yeah.
Yeah. So eventually that would have led to a bloodline Wyatt family revamped, because it causes Karrion Kross to follow the Buzzards, right? Or to follow Bray, to be part of that. And how Karrion Kross's character works, how it worked in Impact Wrestling, how it worked in Global Force, how it worked in the Indies, is exactly how Bray would be as a leader to do so. And then added with the Uncle Howdy, Scarlett with Alexa Bliss could have ran the women's tag team division right there. That could have been something. But, it's like you said, it's just one of the atrocities and tragedies that
Yeah.
it's so unfortunate.
Yeah. My last question for you, about the Wyatts and Shields, and we know the trajectory of all of them. Who would you say? I mean, it's you may say it's easy, but who would you say is the most iconic person in this match? Who is
The
like all
most
time? It's
iconic, the most.
iconic, because you got the
We're talking.
Wyatts.
If we're talking iconic, like icon, it's Bray. There's no other answer. I know that in second place is definitely Roman. If Bray was alive, it would be Roman, and that sucks to say that, but I think losing Bray shows us the impact that a man or a person can have on a foundation of people. And if we even go back like a year ago when we lost Jay Briscoe, you know, and a lot of people didn't know about Jay Briscoe unless you watched Ring of Honor, but the impact that him and him alone had on the wrestling community as a whole, how much people he touched in Japan, in freaking WWE, like these things, like pro wrestling is not only it saves lives and everything like that. It's a tight knit community, and I'm glad to be part of the pro wrestling community. I know that it gets slack sometimes for a lot of neckbeards making us all look bad.
It's toxic. It's like Star Wars.
Toxic community and stuff like that. But for the guys that do take showers and actually are articulate and doesn't have this fantasy booking war going on. Yeah, pro wrestling is one of the realest things that exist in this world. Like there's a lot of fake shit out there going on between politics and homelessness and
all types of shit.
All types of shit. You know what I'm saying? It's nice that I can go back, or anyone can go back and just watch a GCW show, a AEW show, a NXT show, a Raw, a SmackDown, a Sunday Night Heat, a House of Glory show, a Pro Wrestling Evolve, or a Pro Wrestling Eve, like a Shimmer, a Shine, and New Japan. It doesn't matter what it is. You can go to it and be like, I can relate to this. And I can just I can suspend my disbelief for just a moment in time. And watching this match made me feel that more ways than one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a beautiful way to end it. I'm gonna mess it up by saying you're wrong. Not saying I'm joking. No, 100% agree with everything you said there. Like that's the inspiration for this top 100 show series, just to go back and just appreciate what all these matches have just done, just the feeling and the mode, and going back and talking about, you're not forgetting the Wyatts and the Shields, and we're gonna do other matches, not even just WWE. This could be everything else. So it's just there's so many matches where you just go like, damn, that just really, like, in all the troubled times we have today, and there's war and diseases and homelessness and poverty and just all types of the BS that goes on in the outside world. Wrestling is right there. It's just like, as silly and as ridiculous it is, it takes you, it makes something that's impossible possible. And I feel like that's the example of what the Shield and Wyatt represents. Just like, this is ridiculous. Like, how are these cultists fighting these military bases? But let's go.
Even the outcome of the match was kind of shocking. Like, you would expect the Shield to win this match, and they didn't. And you're just like, oh,
yeah,
whoa.
Here come the Wyatt. Here comes that's the next champion. Like, at this point, everybody in this match kind of became a world champion to an extent, except for Roland. Not to disparage him, but
I mean, do you count
Brody TNT? I'm counting that as a decent title. Okay, I'm giving him some, and I'm calling it a world title because he was Intercontinental Champion as well. But they all went. They all had really successful careers that were, a lot of it cut short due to just life and the pandemic of COVID and everything else, and everything that went on with Bray and Brody. It's just so much that just got in the way of all this. And, it's just really feel like, we're all lucky to still have, just people just every day, just to be alive and stuff and walk every day. Because any given day, anything can happen. And, like Roman got leukemia after this and stuff. And
he literally has cancer.
and stuff like that. And like, anything can change at drop of a hat.
Like it's crazy because like you never in the million years would think I'm gonna boo this man that has cancer. Nobody boos cancer. Roman made you do it.
Yeah. Acknowledge him.
Acknowledge him.
But himself, Mox, I always considered him like the OKC of the WWE of when you had Harden, Durant, and Westbrook all on the same team, and you were just like, "Fuck, that's a trio." And whenever I see the Shield, I compare. I'm like, this is the exact same thing of these three dudes. You got your Durant or whichever order you want to call it. If you want to call Roman Durant and Moxley, I don't know, Harden and Rollins, Westbrook, or whatever the hell you want to put it. It's just so like connected. I don't know.
Interchangeable.
Yeah. But that concludes our show. Again, you can find Jamal on the Midcard Mets podcast, on SoundCloud, 3 Faces of Jamal, all down there in the info. Links probably in the bio.
Be on the lookout. I'm going to do a complete synopsis on what's going on today, right now, with all of pro wrestling. When I say all, I'm just talking about the major promotions: Impact, NWA, Ring of Honor, AEW, WWE, Raw and SmackDown, respectively, NXT. Obviously, I'm going to cover it all. Who's the champions? Why they're the champions? What storylines? What feuds? Looking out for. If you want to watch it, then you can watch it. It's going to be a long ass episode, so I might break it down in parts. I might just break it down to like, okay, this is WWE's happening. This is New Japan's happenings. This is AEW happenings and all that stuff like that. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah. And you can find me on this channel doing shit. I'll be around. I'm around Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, watch alongs, whatever.
You can find me in the Lumber Chat from time to time if you want to chat with me directly.
Oh yeah, please join the Lumber Chat. It's always a competitive sport in there. To like it's fun. It's fun. It's a really good chat and just a positive wrestling community. If you're looking for positivity, get here. Unless Mania versus Levi, and then it's all petty this afternoon.
I'm tossing you right through the comments section.
All right. We'll see you guys until next time on DTV.